Hello.
Bonjour, and welcome to Carona Cuisine, where we shall be making the quarantine cookies, marooned meringues, a sweet, solitary cookie, which are so simple to make, even we can make them.
And now you can too.
Yes, you at home, you'll find it very simple. It could hardly be more simple.
And it's just in time for Easter and Passover.
And speaking of which, I'm holed up here with my dear bosom buddy, the literary lioness, the gorgeous gal, too tight a trek for the duration of the plague. Coincidentally, at the same time that we celebrate yet another plague brought upon the faithless, visited upon the faithless by the Lord. Yes, well, the Lord, though all-seeing, needed a sign to point out the faithful, so in his infinite mercy, he had them slaughter an innocent lamb and smear the blood over the doorposts. Thus he could tell. Well, yes, that's the story of Passover.
But we won't be smearing blood over the doors.
No, just cream cheese, darling.
Good. Well, as Lady Mary Pozah has said, I am too tight-Lautrec, and the poet Marianne Moore once said that the cure for loneliness is solitude. And if you're not,
face it, I should be cured by now.
if you're not lucky enough to actually be in solitude for the quarantine, then we're here to help you make it as sweet as possible with our little meringue recipe. And we've got it all set up here, and
We're raring to go.
for this recipe, you'll need 3 eggs.
3
which
eggs
we have
separated,
right
only
here.
the egg whites. You can toss the yolks, they're just cholesterol makers anyway.
We're going to be doing different flavors. Today we're going to be doing cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. And we're going to be adding some colorings
Food
here.
colorings.
Right.
You might want that too, but it's not necessary. A teensy little bit will be enough. Now, darling, before we begin, let us begin.
I think it requires a toast.
A toast to you, to survival.
Yes.
May you all come through the other side.
Yes.
I'm feeling
My
the holiday
goodness.
spirit. All right.
Now, Lady Mary Pozah has kindly cracked the eggs.
Separated the yolk and tossed them.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
She cut the cheese earlier, but we wanted to make sure that she at least cracked the eggs.
that's an appetizer, bitch.
So the cream of tartar or tartar is in there, and the pinches of salt, which is such a violent term. I prefer actually a tickle of salt, but 2 tickles of salt.
We've been doing some experimenting before we filmed. Now, the original recipe calls for 3/4 cup of sugar. We tried it. Way too sweet. You could rot your teeth out just eating one. So, we tried with less, a little bit over 1/3 cup, and we found that too much. So now we're going to try with just a little under 1/3 cup of sugar. Because, darlings, I don't know who they're making these things for. They're so sweet. I don't understand.
So
2
that's
pinches of salt go into the eggs.
1/4 teaspoon
Quarter.
of
A cream of tartar. Like, no Russians involved.
So 3 eggs. How much of this? A 1/2 teaspoon, I
This,
think.
half a teaspoon of
of
flavoring.
Any flavoring you'd like.
All right. Now, once we get a nice foamy look to the egg whites, I'm going to beat them. I'm going to talk before I turn the machine on. Then we're going to just turn little bits of sugar in at a time until it's gradually incorporated.
And off we go.
Yes! Ta-da! That cream of tartar is resisting incorporation. We have now achieved foamgasm, so you shall start adding sugar.
Gradually. Little by little by little by little. Oh
Une
my
petite,
goodness gracious.
une petite,
It's alive.
juste une petite de sucre.
I know this is fascinating watching 2 queens watch eggs beat.
who you call me queen, darling.
there we-
If you're speaking of royalty, well, now, we're going to test them, do you see? What we not want is a nice stiff one. Peak, that is. I don't think it's quite.
I don't think.
It's not quite, you
No.
see. It's still a bit
No one likes
sloppy. It's not sticking up, you see.
No one likes a limp peak.
No, nothing worse than flaccid egg whites. All right. So we shall give it another go. Oops. I forgot to raise the bucket.
Maybe another drink would help.
I think that's an excellent idea. Looking good, don't you think? It's hard to tell when you've overdone. So you keep testing because you don't want to overdo it, you see. What's that, darling? Yes, I've never been one to overdo it.
Well, no.
Now that's what I call a stiff peak. You see, it's not moving.
It's a very small peak.
And look. But
Yes.
you see, inside it's sticking up too. Can you see that? Sort of like, what's his name?
Yes, I suppose you're right. It's not the size of the peak. It's
I
the
must say.
stiffness.
What's that?
Ed Grimley.
Dana Carter.
Carvey.
Harvey. Dana Carter. Okay, so there we have our stiff peaks.
Is it? Yeah, okay, yes. No,
I think we could go another memento. All right. At least I know Too Tight thinks we should go another memento. All right, here we go. By the way, this is another opportunity.
Indeed.
Chin chin.
Chin chin, I do have two.
Yes. Don't talk to me about it. You youngsters, just wait. Alright, we absolutely don't want to make them grainy. If we overdo it, that's what we'll do. Now these they just must be done. It's electric. Oh yes, these are done.
So show the peak. Ah, now that's what we're
And
looking
there, you
for.
see, it's still sticking up. Just the way we like them.
So this is 3 eggs worth of meringue, but we're going to do 2 different flavors. The recipe says
So we're
to
going to-
incorporate the flavor into it while it's beating, but we're going to split it up and
In half.
fold the flavors in.
Right. Alright, here we are. We've got our little flavour
So
in
we've
here.
added our flavorings. We're just going to fold it gently
And fold them together, you'll see.
because you want the flavor mixed,
Fold
but
it
you don't
good.
want the...
I can't remember what flavour I used.
Well, it was
oh,
supposed to
lemon.
be lemon.
Lemon, it's a lovely
But
colour
it
for
looks
lemon.
like it's gotten a bit dark over the years. So you want to fold it to incorporate the flavor, but not to get rid of the...
You don't want to overfold because you'll knock all the air out of your
Yes.
egg whites.
And then you can take a handy dandy little baggie and cut off the end and place your piping instrument in it thus. And I'll show you a little trick where I'm going to add some food coloring on the side. If you happen to suffer from that disease where your fingernails pop off in the middle of anything that you're doing, then just tear them off as they come along and set them to the side. But
There you go, dear.
thank you,
Toothpicks.
dear.
I'm putting in a drop of lemon.
And I am going to just line
And there it is.
a tiny, teeny bit of my piping dish.
That wasn't lemon, it was yellow food colouring, darling. Oh, so silly moi. Silly, silly moi.
With meringue, and I didn't do that very nicely.
What you doing, doll?
And then I'm going to take a toothpick, and I've mixed some yellow and some red together. I'm going to just dab along the side of the piping dish where I've set some meringue.
He's got a magical coloring scheme.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not doing anything magical at all. I'm just going to put it into me bag. The old bag shoves it in. All right.
Okay, so that's that. I don't know if you can see that, but I've just one little line along the edge. I put some meringue there and then some orange food coloring. And then I'm going to try to get this in here.
Okay. Now I have gotten all of mine in the bag. Looks like something you throw out from the nursery, doesn't it?
I may need a spoon.
A spoon?
So here we are.
Wait a minute.
Before the meringue deflates, there's a nice little orange stripe here. And I don't know if you know, Lady Mary Pozah has some special powers, and she summons up
Dead people.
dead celebrities. She's already interviewed Katharine Hepburn on her fantastic show,
Truman Capote.
famous interviews. Truman Capote, who is also a hoot. And I'm hoping that one day she'll do Julia Child, who can show us how to actually pipe this out. So I'm going to just give it a gentle squeeze and a twist and hope that everything...
A squeeze and a twist.
Yes.
She's very good at that.
Oh, I've lost a nail. I hope it's not in the meringue somewhere.
I hope it's not also. Now, darling, I'm going to shove these in the oven.
Shove it.
Yes, and oh, aren't they gorgeous?
They're quite...
You'll see when they come out, they look very similar.
Now you just wait about a year and a half while they cook, because it takes forever.
It takes about that long. We have the oven at 200 degrees, and we will let it cook for, well, it seems to take 3.5 to 4 hours. They say 2.5 hours, but or 2 hours, but it's just never done. They're still squeezy. When they're crunchy to the touch, then you know that they're finished.
Or when the fire engines start and alert you that your oven's been on too long, perhaps.
And if you have an oven thermometer, you can tell when it's 200 degrees. And if it is 200 degrees, you really can't overcook them. They won't turn brown. It's too low a heat. So, darling,
so we'll take a little break, and when all the smoke has cleared, we'll come back and
well, the smoke has cleared.
we'll come back and
Maybe when my head is clear.
show you what we've got on our hands. Okay.
All right. Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Clink clink
Chin
and
chin.
plunk.
And now,
And let's see how they came out.
yes,
All right. Now,
you've got your gloves.
I've got the gloves. I think I shall use this hand so I can. There, aren't those gorgeous?
Orange
Wait a minute.
meringues
Orange meringues. And these.
and the lemon meringues.
Lemon meringue without the pie. All right, darling, don't touch it. That's it. There. All right, now, I need another mitten. I need it out of clay. And when my knitting's knitting.
So this is the orange meringue,
You'll see.
which is from
Don't touch it. You'll
a
hurt
recipe
yourself.
that's in my book, in the very first story, Great Escapes from Detroit.
Great Escapes from Detroit.
The very first story is called Too Beautiful.
It's an autobiographical
And there
story.
is a moment
she
where
is.
one character brings another character some orange meringues, and now you'll have the recipe.
Who are you
for
calling a
it.
character?
And that character gets quite a bit of a surprise at the end of the story. And if you'd like to see it, then, or if you'd like to read about it, you can, when everything is safe and sound, you can order it from Amazon and Great Escapes from Detroit by Detroit
When it's
O'Malley,
safe for them to make
and make
deliveries.
your own orange meringues and give it to your neighbor, except I hope that you're nicer to your neighbor than my character was to hers. Okay, so now we're going to arrange it all and have a final.
Excuse me, darling. I
Sure,
don't want to burn
excuse
you. Or maybe
Well,
I
right
do.
back.
Don't you hate when someone hogs the camera? All to herself. No! I feel like sherry pie. God forbid. And here we are, after all the baking has been done and all the plating.
I suppose we should try one now. After we show.
And
Beautiful, beautiful.
well, see, here we have those lovely orange ones that he gave in his book. And these are the lemon ones, and these are the lime. These are cherry. And is there something else?
No, that's it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
Did I say 4? I can't tell after all those drinks.
And these, if you can see them, are Ukrainian
Ukrainian.
Easter eggs,
Tell us something in Ukrainian.
also called pisanki.
Pisentki.
Я не говорю по-українськи,
Я не
але
говорю по-українськи.
я знаю кілька слів.
Я знаю кінсько-пінськи.
In any case, this is a way to sweeten up your quarantine. If you're self-isolating and all alone, you can eat yourself into oblivion.
Or if
and-
you're not all alone
Yes.
and you're spending your plague with a loved one.
Yes. Keep your corona distance. And stay safe. And also, if you wish to pass the time, you can tune in to Lady Mary Pozah's channel where she
Don't forget to see my show, darlings.
interviews all manner of dearly departed celebrities.
And don't forget to tune into Too Tight's Shaky Sonnet Show, where she does every one of his sonnets. Of course, what are you up to now? Number 20
Oh
something?
no, I'm in the 30s at this point, just like my age. But there are 154, so I don't know when I'll get there. Maybe I'll be 154 by the time I get there. If you can't wait until that, there are lip syncs of poets. Sylvia Plath. Which one did you try? The lemon one. Well, I'm going to
The
try
lemon one.
an orange one, the prettiest one.
Because you, dear, are the prettiest one, isn't she? Oops.
Oh my.
She's also the piggiest one. That has been our Corona cuisine for today. We hope to not be doing any more Corona episodes, but we will be back for more delicious, tasty treats for vous. Until then, I am Lady Mary Pozah.
And I am Too Tight to Trek. Even if your world is very small at the moment, it's still full of wonder.
So
And
pay attention,
Yes.
as she has taught us all very well.
okay, let's give them. Maybe they're too young to remember the dating game, but if you aren't, let's give them a big dating game send off.
No, I don't know it. This has been Corona Cuisine.